Good day everyone, I am Sati Jora Baraokar Pamikiran and together with me are Bailenki Abubakar and Mr. Rashid Gamadin. So our topic is all about chapter 23, Martyrdom at Bagong Bayan. So dito, pag-uusapan natin yung mga iba't ibang ginawa ni Dr. Jose Rizal bago siya namatay. Unahin natin dito sa kanyang last farewell letter which is Farewell dear fatherland, claim of the sun, Greece, pearl of the Orient, seas. Our Eden lot, gladly now I go to give thee face, faded life's best, and were it brighter, fresher, or more best. Still would I give it the, nor cost the cost. So, ang ibig sabihin niyan ay he is expressing his love and dedication for his homeland of the Philippines, and he is also willing to sacrifice his own life to help achieve freedom and liberty for his country. At itong farewell letter ay dinidescribe niya para sa kanyang family, friends, and fellow Filipino as he faces a impending execution. Now we will proceed to the second paragraph, which is after the court-martial, Rizal knew he was doomed to die. So dito, alam na ni Rizal na mamamatay siya and he is willing to sacrifice himself para maabot ang kalayaan ng mga Pilipino against the Spanish government. Rizal know that mahahatulan siya ng kamatayan dahil sa ginawa niya. The official notice of his execution was read to him at 6 a.m. December 29, 1896 by Captain Rafael Dominguez. On the eve of his death, he was busy writing farewell letters to his family and best friend named Blumentritt, conversing with the Jesus Christ, preparing his soul for the life beyond the grave, and writing his farewell poem. He also abjured Masonry and returned to the fold of Catholicism and married Josephine Bracken under Catholic rites. With courage and dignity, Captain Dominguez, siya yung nagbasa ng official note of execution ni Rizal. And dito, si Rizal ay ikinasal kay Josephine Bracken under the Catholic rite sa araw mismo ng kanyang kamatayan. And that time, Rizal was busy for writing of his farewell letter para sa kanyang pamilya at sa kanyang matalik na kaibigan na si Blumentritt. He marched to his redisbos with death at Bagong Bayan. At 7:03 a.m., December 30, 1896, he passed away at the age of 35. He died to live forever as the national hero of the Philippines. Now, we will proceed to the work o mga ginawa ni Rizal before he died, starting thus December 29 until December 30, 1869. The last hour of Rizal at 7 a.m., December 29, an hour after hearing his death sentence, Rizal was moved to the prison chapel where he spent his last hours on earth. So dito at 7 a.m. in the morning, isang oras pagkatapos niyang malaman ang kanyang execution ay inilipat siya sa kapilya ng Fort Santiago at doon ikinulong, na kung saan doon niya iginugol ang natitira niyang oras sa mundo. He requested that his old professors in the Ateneo assist him in his last moments. His first visitors were Mr. Miguel Sadera Mata, which is rector of the Ateneo Municipal, and Father Luis Vesa. So, at 7:15 a.m., Father Sadera left Rizal in jovial mood, reminded Father Vesa of the image of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, which he made during his Ateneo days. Father Vesa, anticipating such reminiscence, got the image from his pocket and gave it to Rizal. The hero lovingly received it and placed it on the writing table. So, a.m. after 15 minutes, Father Sodero leave at ang naiwan kay Rizal ay si Father Vesa, and doon marami silang napag-usapan hanggang sa nabanggit ni Rizal ang image of the Sacred Heart of Jesus na inukit mismo ni Rizal. And noon sa Ateneo at sinabi naman ni Father Vera na, "Yes, I remember," na yung image ng Sacred Heart of Jesus ay nasa kanya at kinuha niya ito sa kanyang pitaka at ibinigay kay Rizal. At tuwang-tuwa si Rizal na tinanggap iyon. At 8 a.m., Father Antonio Russell arrived to relieve Father Vesa. Rizal invited him to partake of his breakfast, which he did. After breakfast, Lieutenant Travel de Andrade came, and Rizal thanked him for his gallant service. At 9 a.m., Father Federico Farra arrived. Rizal remembered him of the prophecy that he, which is Rizal, would lose his head for writing the Noli. "You turned out to be a prophet, Father," remarked Rizal. At the 8 a.m., so dito dumating si Father Antonio Russell, and Rizal invited him to join him into breakfast at hindi naman yun tinanggihan ni Father Russell. So, after nila kumain ng breakfast, dumating naman si Lieutenant Travel de Andrade, and Rizal thanked him for the gallant service o tinatawag na maigting serbisyo. And at the 9 a.m., dumating si Father Federico Farra at nagkwentuhan sila ni Rizal hanggang sa nabanggit ni Rizal yung prophecy ni Father na minsan na nagpayo kay Rizal na mapupugutan siya ng ulo dahil sa pagsulat niya ng Noli, which is the Noli Me Tangere. And nagkatotoo ang kanyang sinabi, kaya dito sinabi ni Rizal kay Father Torre na, "You are a prophet." At 10 a.m., Father Jose Villaclara, which is Rizal's teacher in the Ateneo, and Vicente Balaguer visited Rizal. Another visitor also arrived. He was Santiago Mataix, which is correspondent of El Heraldo de Madrid. So dito nung 10 a.m. dumating si Father Jose Villadari, guro ni Rizal sa Ateneo, at kasama nito si Vicente Villaclara. Binisita nila si Rizal, and then sumunod naman na dumating ay si Santiago Matex, isang journalist, and he interviewed Rizal for the newspaper of El Heraldo de Madrid. So dito maraming nangyari at maraming pumunta simula nung nalaman ng balita na hahatulan si Rizal ng kamatayan. Kaya binisita na nila ito para magkaroon ng last moments together with Dr. Jose Rizal. At 12 noon, Fathers Villaclara and Balaguer left. Rizal was alone with his guards. He took his lunch, after which he was busy writing until 3 p.m. During the time from noon to 3:30 p.m., when he was not strictly watched by the guards, Rizal wrote his last poem, Ultimo Adios. In the 12 afternoon, iniwan ni Father Villaclara at Father Balaguer si Rizal na mag-isa. At that time, Rizal was kumakain siya ng lunch niya. Pagkatapos doon is pinagpatuloy niya Rizal ang pagsusulat ng kanyang farewell letter, which is the Ultimos Adios, hanggang sa 3:30 p.m. At patago niya itong isinusulat kapag walang nakabantay na gwardiya o walang dumadalaw na bisita sa kanya ay nagsusulat ito. So, ang Ultimos Adios ay naglalaman ng paalam para sa kanyang pinakamamahal na bansa and for all his loved ones. At 3:30 p.m., Father Balaguer returned and resumed discussion with Rizal on religious matters. The latter was adamant and refused to abjure Masonry. So, at the time of 4:30 p.m., Rizal's mother arrived. Rizal knelt before her and kissed her hands, begging her to forgive him. Both mother and son were crying as guards separated them. After the mother, Trinidad, which is Rizal's sister, entered the room, Rizal gave her an alcohol caulking stub, not a lamp, as other authors claim, which was a gift of Paz Pardo de Tavera to Rizal. As Trinidad received it, Rizal told her softly, "There is something in it." The something turned out to be a little piece of paper on which was written the ultimo adios. It should be noted that Trinidad knew English, for Rizal taught her this language. When she left the room, Fathers Villaclara and Stanislao March arrived. They were followed by Father Rosal. So, sa ganap na 4:30 ng hapon, dumating ang ina ni Rizal. Lumuhod si Rizal sa kanyang harapan at hinalikan ang kanyang mga kamay, humihiling na patawarin siya. Magkasama silang umiiyak habang pinaghihiwalay sila ng mga gwardya. Pagkatapos ng kanyang ina, pumasok si Trinidad, ang kapatid ni Rizal na babae, sa silid. Ibinigay ni Rizal sa kanya ang isang alcohol na lutuan. Dito nakalagay ang isang regalo mula kay Paz Pardo de Tavera kay Rizal. Nang tanggapin ito ni Trinidad, binanggit ni Rizal ng mahina na there is something in it. Ang laman ay isang piraso ng papel na naglalaman ng ultimo adios na isinulat ni Rizal, at ito naman ay nagets ni Trinidad dahil tiniruan siya ni Rizal ng wikang Ingles. Ang ultimo adios ay isang huling tula na isinulat ni Jose Rizal bago siya barilin sa Bagong Bayan noong December 30, 1896. Ang tula ay puno ng pagmamahal sa bayan at ang pangarap ng kalayaan para sa Pilipinas. Ang mga huling sandali ni Rizal ay puno ng emosyon at malalim na pagpapakita ng kanyang pagmamahal sa pamilya at sa bayan. Nang lumabas siya sa silid, dumating sina Padre Villaclara at Padre Stanislao Marc. Sinundan sila ni Padre Rosal. Sa ganap na 6 p.m., Rizal received Don Silvano Lopez Tonyon, the Dean of the Manila Cathedral, Fathers Balaguer and March leaving Father Villaclara with Rizal. So sa ganap na 8 p.m., dumating si Father Balaguer and Father Vesa. They conversed with Rizal on religious matter. Another visitor of Rizal was Gaspar Castañano of the Royal Audiencia. The two had a nice conversation with the prisoner playing the role of a gracious host. So, at the time of 6 p.m. ng hapon, tinanggap ni Rizal si Don Silvino Lopez Tonyon, isang dean ng Manila Cathedral. And after noon, umalis sina Padre Balaguer at Padre Marc at iniwan si Padre Villaclara upang makipag-usap kay Rizal. Pagdating ng 8 p.m. ng gabi, dumating sina Padre Balaguer kasama si Padre Vesa. Nag-usap sila kay Rizal tungkol sa mga usaping relihiyon. Isa pang bisita ni Rizal ay si Gaspar Castañano mula sa Royal Audiencia. Nagkaroon sila ng magaan na pag-uusap kung saan si Rizal kahit bilang isang bilanggo ay nagpakita ng kahusayan bilang isang magalang na host. At 10 p.m., the draft of the retraction from Archbishop Bernardino Nozaleda arrived. Rizal rejected it because it is too long. Father Balaguer showed him another draft which was prepared by Father P.U.P., the superior of the Jesuit mission in the Philippines. Rizal liked it, but wanted certain changes made. So, at the time of 10 p.m. ng gabi, dumating ang isang sulat ng retraction mula kay Archbishop Bernardino Nozalde. So, tinanggihan ito ni Rizal dahil ito ay masyado daw mahaba. Ipinakita naman ni Padre Balaguer kay Rizal ang isa pang sulat na inihahanda ni Padre Pio P., ang superior ng Jesuit mission sa Pilipinas. Itong sulat na ito is nagustuhan ni Rizal, ngunit nais niya itong magkaroon ng ilang pagbabago. So, ang retraction na ito ay isang controversial na issue sa kasaysayan ni Rizal. Maraming tao ang nagduda kung si Rizal nga ba ay tunay na nagbago ng pananaw sa masonerya at sa mga ideolohiyang kanyang ipinaglalaban. At 11:30 p.m., Rizal wrote and signed the retraction in which he abjured Masonry. It was witnessed by Juan del Fresno, Chief of the Guard Dato, and Eloy Mori, Adjutant of the Plaza. After signing the retraction, Rizal confessed to Father Villaclara and rested. Pagdating ng 11:30 ng gabi, isinulat at nilagdaan ni Rizal ang retraction. So, yung retraction is na-explain ko kanina na kung saan tinanggihan niya ang masonerya. Ang kanyang paglagda ay nasaksihan ni Juan del Fresno, which is pinuno ng Guard Dato, at Eloy Morio na adjutant ng Plaza. Pagkatapos ng lagdaan ang retraction, nagkumpisal si Rizal kay Padre Villaclara at nagpahinga. Ang retraction ay naging sentro ng mga debate hinggil sa pagkatao ng mga prinsipyo ni Rizal. Nung paglagda niyan is naging sentro ito ng mga debate, lalo na sa konteksto ng kanyang huling araw bago siya barilin. Ang mga pangyayaring ito ay nagbigay ng maraming interpretasyon sa mga layunin ni Rizal at sa kanyang mga huling hakbang bago ang kanyang kamatayan. The next morning, which is December 30, 1896, Rizal rose up at 1:30 a.m., prayed and confessed again. He knelt before the altar, praying with a rosary in hand and wearing a blue scapular of the Immaculate Virgin. He read the Acts of Faith, Hope, and Charity from the Spanish prayer book entitled Aceptación de la Muerte, and signed page 49 at the end of the Act of Charity. Then, he confessed to Father Villaclara for the third time, after which he read Thomas A. Kempes' Imitation de Cristo. So, kinabukasan ng December 30, 1896, si Rizal ay nagising sa oras ng 1:30 ng umaga. Nagdasal at nagkumbisal muli. Lumuhod siya sa harap ng altar, nagdasal na may hawak na rosaryo at suot ang asul na scapular na Immaculadong Birheng Maria. Binasa niya ang Act of Faith, Hope, and Charity mula sa aklat na panalangin na Aceptación de la Muerte o tinatawag na pagtanggap sa kamatayan, at nilagdaan niya ang pahina ng 49 sa dulo ng Act of Charity. Pagkatapos nagkumpisal siya kay Padre Villaclara sa pangatlong pagkakataon, at pagkatapos ay binasa ang Imitation de Cristo ni Tomas de Kempes. At 3 a.m., Father Balaguer said Mass. Rizal again confessed. This was the fourth time he confessed. He received communication and heard Mass on bended knees. So, sa ganap na 3:30 ng umaga, nagsimula si Padre Balaguer ng mesa, isang mahalagang bahagi ng ritual sa buhay ng isang Katoliko. Habang naggaganap ang mesa, muling nagkumpisal si Jose Rizal na ito na ang kanyang pang-apat na pagkakataon na humarap kay Padre Villaclara upang aminin ang kanyang mga kasalanan. Ang paulit-ulit na pagkumpisal ay isang tanda ng kanyang taos-pusong pagpapakumbaba at pagnanais na maghanda ng husto sa kanyang kaluluwa bago ang kanyang kamatayan. Matapos magkumpisal, tumanggap si Rizal ng banal na komunyon, isang sakramento na itinuturing na pinakamasalimuot at pinakamatamis na bahagi ng mesa para sa mga Katoliko. Ang pagtanggap ng komunyon ay isang simbolo ng pagkakaisa kay Kristo at para kay Rizal. Ito rin ay isang pagpapakita ng kanyang malalim na pananampalataya at pagtanggap sa Diyos sa kabila ng kanyang sitwasyon bilang isang bilanggo. At 5 a.m., Rizal had his last breakfast. After the breakfast, he autographed some religious pictures and books which were his last souvenirs to his mother. his sister Josefa, and his sister Trinidad. Soon, Josephine, accompanied by Narcissa, arrived to be married canonically. As requested by Rizal, Father Balaguer married them. Rizal gave his wife as wedding gift the religious book Imitación de Cristo, which he autographed. To my dear and unhappy wife, Josephine, December 30th, 1896, Jose Rizal by 6 a.m. Rizal was ready to have his divorce with death at Bagumbayan Field. At 7 a.m., he had to die by order of Governor Polavieja. Sa ganap na alas 5 ng umaga, nagkaroon si Rizal ng kanyang huling agahan. Pagkatapos ng pagkain, nilagdaan niya ang ilang mga relihiyosong larawan at aklat na siyang huling alaala na ibibigay niya sa kanyang ina, kapatid na si Josefa at kapatid na si Trinidad. Ang mga ito ay nagsilbing simbolo ng kanyang pagmamahal at pag-aalala sa kanyang pamilya bilang paghahanda sa kanyang nalalapit na kamatayan. Di nagtagal dumating si Josephine na sinamahan ni Narcissa upang maganap ang kanilang kasal ayon sa mga tuntunin ng simbahan. Gaya ng hiling ni Rizal, si Padre Balaguer ang nagsagawa ng seremonya at pinagtibay ang kanilang kasal. Ang kasalang ito ay naging simbolo ng pagmamahal ni Rizal kay Josephine, ang babaeng minahal niya at kasama sa mga huling araw ng kanyang buhay. Bilang isang wedding gift, ibinigay ni Rizal kay Josephine ang aklat na Imitación de Cristo. Imitasyon ni Cristo, isang aklat na may malalim na espiritual na kahulugan. Nilagdaan ni Rizal ang aklat at isinulat ito para kay Josephine, isang huling simbolo ng kanyang pananampalataya at pagmamahal sa kanya. By 6 a.m., Rizal was ready to have his rendezvous with death at Bagumbayan Field. At 7 a.m., he had to die by order of Governor Polavieja. So, pagdating ng umaga ng alas 6, handa na si Rizal para sa kanyang huling pagtakda ng kapalaran. Ang kanyang pagharap sa kamatayan sa Bagumbayan, ang buong araw ay naging puno ng emosyon at paghahanda, hindi lamang para sa kanyang pisikal na kalagayan, kundi pati na rin sa kanyang espiritual na kalagayan. Ang kanyang huling mga sandali ay pinagdiwang ng mga malalapit sa kanya. Ngunit ang takdang oras ay hindi na maiiwasan. Sa ganap na 7 ng umaga, ayon sa utos ni Gobernador Polavieja, dumating na ang sandali na kailangan niyang bayaran ang mga sakripisyo ng kanyang mga prinsipyo at ideal, ang mga prinsipyo na nagbigay ng buhay sa kanyang mga paniniwala at mga laban para sa kalayaan ng Pilipinas. Ang pagbaril kay Rizal sa Bagumbayan ay isang mahalagang kaganapan sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas at ito ay nagsilbing mitsa ng isang mas malawak na kilusang makabayan na naglalayong magtamo ng kalayaan mula sa mga mananakop na Kastila. Ang kamatayan ni Rizal ay hindi lamang isang pagtatapos ng isang buhay, kundi isang pagsisimula ng isang bagong pag-asa para sa bayan. Ang kanyang alaala ay naging inspirasyon sa mga susunod na henerasyon ng Pilipino na ipagpatuloy ang kanilang laban para sa kalayaan at makatarunang lipunan. Now we'll proceed to the last letter of Rizal. The last letter of Rizal written was addressed to his father and mother. He wrote it at 6 a.m. December 30, 1896. So, itong letter ni Rizal is ito yung masakit. Ito yung masakit sa parte ng isang anak na nagpapaalam sa kanyang mga magulang. This letter is follows. To my beloved father, pardon me for the pain with which I repay you for your sorrows and sacrifices for my education. I did not want this nor did prefer it. Goodbye, Father, goodbye. Sa liham na ito, humihingi si Jose Rizal ng paumanhin sa kanyang ama dahil sa kalungkutang dulot ng kanyang sitwasyon. Inaalala niya ang mga sakripisyo ng kanyang ama para sa kanyang edukasyon at ikinalulungkot niya ito na siya ang nagdulot ng sakit sa kanya. Ipinapahayag ni Rizal na hindi niya nais na mangyari ito at hindi niya pinili ang ganitong kalagayan. Sa huli, nagsasabi siya ng paalam sa kanyang ama. To my very dear mother, Theodora Alonso, 6 o'clock in the morning, December 30, 1896. Aside from this very last letter, Rizal had previously written two others both dated December 29, 1896. One was addressed to Blumenthal, his best friend, and the other one is to Pasiano, his beloved brother. This is the letter written by Jose Rizal at 6 o'clock in the morning, December 30, 1896, just before his execution. Before this letter, Rizal had already written two other letters on December 29, which is I said kanina, one for his best friend and best friend Blumenthal, and the other one is for his beloved brother Pasiano. Itong letter ng kanyang brother na si Pasiano is Mari-report ito ni Miss Bailin Abubakar, which is siya yung makakapag-explain kung ano yung laman ng letter ni Pasiano. In simpler terms, this was a very important letter that Rizal wrote to his mother, expressing his love and thoughts before his death. It was a part of a series of letters he wrote to those closest to him during his final days. His last letter to Blumenthal, the best friend he ever had, written in German, read as follows. Professor Ferdinand Blumenthal, my dear brother, when you receive this letter, I shall be dead. Tomorrow at 7, I shall be shot, but I am innocent of the crime of rebellion. I am going to die with a clear conscience. Goodbye, my best, my dearest friend, and never think ill of me. Fort Santiago, December 29, 1896 by Dr. Jose Rizal. P.S. Regards to the entire family, to Senora Rosa, Loleng, Conradito, and Federico. Written along the interior margin are these words, I am leaving you a book as a last remembrance of mine. So, sa liham ni Jose Rizal kay Ferdinand Blumenthal na isinulat noong December 29, 1896 ay isang huling mensahe ng pamamaalam at pagpapaliwanag bago siya namatay. Ipinahayag ni Rizal na wala siyang kasalanan sa mga paratang ng rebelyon at mamamatay siyang may malinis na konsensya. Nais niyang manatili ang maganda nilang pagkakaibigan at hindi niya husgahan ng masama. Ipinadala rin niya ang kanyang pagbati sa pamilya ni Blumenthal bilang tanda ng pagpapahalaga. Bilang huling alaala, iniwan niya kay Blumenthal ang isang libro na simbolo ng kanilang pagkakaibigan at mga ideya. Ang liham na ito ay isang pagpapakita ng tapang, kabutihang loob at pagmamahal ni Rizal sa mga mahal niya sa buhay. Yan lamang po. Maraming salamat. The next reporter will be by Linky Abubakar and Mr. Rashid Gamadin.